There he is, Pat Sajak, the longtime host of Wheel of Fortune. He's recovering this morning after having emergency surgery, a familiar face stepping into his shoes. And ABC's Diane Macedo is here with more. Diane, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. So he holds the Guinness World Record for the longest career as a game show host of the same show. But Wheel of Fortune says someone else had to host the show on Friday after Pat Sajak was rushed to surgery for a blocked intestine.
Hi, everybody.
He's been hosting Wheel of Fortune for 37 years. But this morning, Pat Sajak is forced to take time off after undergoing emergency surgery. The show revealed the news on Friday, posting on Twitter, "Our taping on Thursday was canceled because host Pat Sajak underwent successful emergency surgery to correct a blocked intestine. He is resting comfortably and looking forward to getting back to work." While the show is wishing 73-year-old Sajak a speedy recovery, taping resumed on Friday with Wheel of Fortune star Vanna White stepping in as host. White also brought a few Disney favorites, including Mickey and Pluto, to join in. She and Sajak celebrated their 7,000th episode in May of this year.
People look at us as part of their lives. It's a nice position to be in when you're a little old television show.
Just last week, Sajak was seen out with White and Jeopardy host Alex Trebek, honoring a friend on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Trebek has been dealing with his own health issues amid an ongoing battle with pancreatic cancer.
Chemo affects people in different ways, and people have to understand that. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm really depressed today, and I have no idea why.
In a recent interview with GMA, the legendary host opened up about how he's doing and his push to keep fighting.
So I'm used to dealing with pain, but what I'm not used to dealing with is these surges that come on suddenly of deep, deep sadness. And it brings tears to my eyes.
Jeopardy is now showing support for Sajak, tweeting, "Wishing Pat a speedy recovery." Now, it's not clear when Pat Sajak will return to Wheel of Fortune, but the show says he is looking forward to it. As for Trebek, he is still behind the podium at Jeopardy, and he says he will continue to host that show as long as he can.
A lot of people cheering for both of them,
Exactly.
for sure. Diane, thank you. I want to get back to Pat Sajak for a moment, and our Chief Health Correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashton, is here to talk more about that.
Yep.
It's been described as a blocked intestine. Tell us about the treatment, though, and how much of an emergency is this really?
It is a true surgical emergency, Whit, and the term blocked intestine is not the medical or surgical term. The real term for this is SBO, or small bowel obstruction. We're talking about the small intestine here. And when it gets blocked, which is most often due to internal scar tissue, or what we call adhesions, occasionally it can be due to things like Crohn's, or in some cases a tumor in the intestine. That is a surgical emergency. That intestine becomes compromised. It can back up. It can release bacteria into the bloodstream, and so that person goes right to the operating room. Treatment is usually very straightforward: surgery to relieve that blockage.
Dan was mentioning in the piece, actually, that it sounds really painful. How difficult or long is the recovery?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's an abdominal surgical procedure. It depends on whether that surgery is done laparoscopically through the tiny little incisions, or whether that patient needs a larger incision. They usually spend a couple of days in the hospital, and then, as with any surgical management, return to their pre-operative baseline condition, which is walking, ambulating, eating, pain management, and they usually recover very, very well. So we are sending him our best wishes.
And his fans eager to see him back on TV. Dr. Ashton, always a pleasure. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Whit.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.